I've got a great bass line for you this week. This is Spirits in the Material World by The Police, played by Sting. I'm going to take you through the 3 different sections and see how that fits together to make up the whole song. And then at the end of the lesson, I'm going to show you how this is actually really, really difficult to count at the beginning. I'll show you exactly how to do it though. This is the first section. I'll introduce a click in a minute just to show you how it fits in. But that's it really, that's the intro and that's the verse riff. Here's a kick drum metronome. All of these metronome beats I'm going to have on my site for you to download for free to practice along to, so I'll put the link below. But this is 142 beats per minute. I'm going to slow that down and show you 2 ways of playing it. So here it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's the first thing to note. Now, even now, I'm going to show you the timing later, but make sure you're starting on beat 2.5. So you're going 1, 2, and. That's where it is. So we're going open A to a C on the 3rd fret of the A string. That's quite a tricky rhythm. 1, 2. Then we've got G on the 3rd fret of the E. Back to the open A. And then E, G at the end. Now, I actually play it a different way to this. I'll show you that next. But if you do want to play it this way with open strings, you have to have your muting sorted out. So watch this. Right there. When I play the E at the end, I'm using my first finger. There's loads of ways to do this. This is just the way I'm doing it now. I'm just dampening or muting the A string as I play the E string, so you don't get this. That's what would happen if you don't mute the A string. So use whatever finger, whatever method, and mute that A, then it's the G. Now, perhaps to negate having to do that, what I do and what a lot of players like to do is to not use an open string. So this is the other way. Play the A on the 5th fret of the E string. I'm going to kick in the kick drum metronome here, and I'm going to play it at 142 beats per minute, and then I'm going to play it half time. That was both ways, using the open string and not using the open string. So after that, we have the chorus. I'm going to explain the rhythms and how it interacts with the drums after showing you these sections. So stick around for that, because it's really, really interesting. What Stuart Copeland is doing just throws your ear. I think it's just really interesting. So it goes like this into the chorus. So last time round the verse. We hit D on beat 1. I'll play it how I tabbed it out, which was open strings. So just to explain this notation in case you're interested in reading music, we have an 8-bar chorus. And that funny symbol there is a first and a second time ending. We have a repeat mark on the left and one on the right. So that means play it again. So we have the first 2 bars, then we have bars 3 and 4, 5 and 6, that encompasses that first and second time ending. Then you repeat again, but the 3rd time you jump and you go to the 3rd time ending, which is just that, and then we're back into the verse. The chorus is a little easier to play because it's on the beat and Stuart Copeland comes back in with a regular backbeat. I'd love to be able to play this, but I'll probably get into copyright strike territory, so I'll ask you just to listen to the original if you don't mind. So it goes. I'll play it one more time. I'll do it half speed, but this time I will not use open strings. The eagle-eyed amongst you may have spotted that in the middle of that slowed down version I changed the fingering pattern a bit. It's a question I get quite a lot, and if you look at lots of different players they will do lots of different things. When you're down towards this part of the bass where the frets are wider apart, many players, including myself, will play the first and the little fingers to span 3 frets, like this, what I mean. So you've got C on the 3rd fret of the A string. And instead of using 3rd finger for the 5th fret of the A string, that's the D, that's what 1 finger per fret would dictate. Instead of doing that, use your little finger, which lessens the stretch your hand has to do and the strain it's put under, and then you do that. Now that would mean you have to do a little stretch out to there, and you come back in. Or you can do what I did second time round and stick to 1 finger per fret, starting with your 2nd finger on the C. There's no wrong and right, it's really up to you. Then we have the verse again. When I'm playing songs live, I tend to like to think of like, here's a riff and it's this number of times around the riff. So this, those 2 bars, I would say that's once around the riff. So you do that 4 times round for the next verse and that's your 8 bars. So that's how I'd think about this. That's 1. 2, I'll do it slower now. And then the open string way. Then we're into the chorus again. Now the chorus then goes into a bridge. I'll play the whole chorus going into the whole bridge. One difference, coming back into the verse, he plays on beat 1. Another thing, it's not exactly the bridge, how I notated it. I've kind of done an easy version. The dotted minim, or dotted half note, that's 3 beats. Then it's actually tied to another 8th note, so it's 3.5 beats that you're playing for. I think that's what Sting does. It'll slide into that A, but I've just notated it a bit simpler. I like to break down these bass lines when I teach them, and I'm just quickly going to go into the theory behind this. The reason I do that is so you can understand these lines deeper and put your own fills in. But this is a very good example of a song that I don't think needs any fills at all. You play it exactly as Sting did on the original. If you listen to Police bass lines, he very, very rarely deviates. He just plays really simple functional lines. I wouldn't say this is that simple, but hardly ever does fills. But that bit there, it just shows you the scale. That's the key. So this is A, natural minor or just A minor. So if you did want to add some things in, you could use notes from that scale. Those are the parts. It just does at the end, it goes around the chorus, it just vamps round. That just means going round and round till it fades. I'm going to attempt to talk to you about that beginning. I have heard this song millions of times, I've never played it. And it took me ages to figure this out. It was really, really throwing me. There's a drum fill at the beginning, and it sounds like the bass comes in on beat 2. And Police very often use music that's inspired from, you know, reggae and ska. So you get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You get this upbeat, offbeat thing which characterizes reggae. But it's like an oral puzzle, this. It's like, you remember those Magic Eye drawings from the 90s that I was staring at for ages until I finally cracked it? This is the audio equivalent of that. It sounds like the offbeats are on the beats, and so this is what you end up thinking it's like if I go back to the click. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But it's actually this, 1, 2. I've got a more sophisticated click coming up, but just a tip, if you want to play to the original, there's the drum fill that goes, it does something like that. It's d-l-d-d-1, okay? But listen out for that first kick. The first kick is beat 2, and then you're playing on the and, you're playing just after it. So it's like, it's really odd, it's really awkward, but you do get into it. Now I'm going to show you, I've put 3 clicks together just to explain something. So listen to this. That high click is beat 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the kick drum on beats 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now I've got the hi-hats. One, 2, 3, 4. Follow that link below, download that for free and play along to it. What you hear is the kick drum on beats 2 and 4. Now when a drummer plays, indeed when Stuart Copeland plays in the chorus and he goes to a more traditional 1, 2, 3, 4, the snare drum hitting on 2 and 4, that's the backbeat. It's the kick drum that's hitting on 2 and 4 in that tricky verse section. So if you listen out for that, it's this really odd thing where you think it's half a beat before, but it's actually half a beat later. When you play this, you'll see what I mean, and it will sit naturally. It's really a bizarre song for that. The other one I can think of that's like this is Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon. That throws loads of people. If you've played that in gigs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I will ask you, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, share, and subscribe. All those things help the channel. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.